Holy shit, we just watched 2 episodes of Tada-kun wa koi o shinai, or Tada-kun doesn't fall in love. About 1 minute into this show, I was like, this looks exactly like Monthly Girls' Nozaki-kun. I'm willing to bet it's the same studio, same director, and same character designer. And I was right.
Lo and behold.
I did not check if it was the same OP artist. I could still figure that one out. Let's see, it was Masayoshi Oishi, and I'm gonna look it up right now. Tell me what you thought of this show while I look up this.
This show was really.
It is the same guy.
Templistic.
Template-ish. I think that might be a word. I don't know what is the word for that? Template driven. It's weird.
Copy paste.
My original assumption was that it was based on a manga from the same author as Nozaki-kun, because, you know, it's not uncommon that, like, if a studio has success adapting someone's work, then they will go and do another of their works. And it seems as though that wasn't the case. This is an original anime. Just happens to be the same whole team, basically. So what it strikes me as is more of a Kyoto Animation kind of deal, where they just like made their own version that was similar to a thing that they had adapted, perhaps because it was tied up in, you know, to just like, hey, the other one was made by made for a publisher. You know what I mean? Like, they probably made that one to promote that manga, and now they're like, hey, we had so much success, or at least, we made a beloved show. Let's make another one, but we have all the rights to it, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, it's just not that interesting.
No, the characters are weird.
They're
not funny.
It's just not that funny, yeah.
No, their gimmicks are not that funny. It's like 2 foreign girls come into Japan, and the one girl gets separated from her friend, and she meets up with this guy who's taking pictures.
It's a photography club show.
It is a photography club show.
So
then it's
sort of themed around photography
and stuff.
It's just very, like, I mean, it's just kind of a slice of life show. It's just kind of like,
yeah.
You know, a very gently paced. It's pleasant.
Very gently paced.
Yeah, it has the advantage over a lot of shows like it, like Nozaki-kun, in that by not being based on a manga, it doesn't have that very obvious 4-panel structure which Nozaki-kun had. You haven't seen Nozaki-kun, I don't think. But, yeah, that show, it very much had that, like, beep, 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 beep kind of comedy. But usually where they would...
It had comedy.
That's the thing. It had comedy. It had really funny scenes. And, like, the funniest thing in this show was the Rainbow Samurai, or what? That was what he's called. Rainbow Shogun.
Rainbow Shogun.
That was just the idea of this, like, incredibly stupid show where he says, like, the color of rainbow is
Name
rainbow.
the color of rainbow. His face is red, and he's like, wrong! Rainbow is the color of rainbow.
That was the funniest moment out of the whole 2 episodes we watched. But, like...
There's a character who is a dog person.
Yeah, that's weird. One guy is just like a human dog.
He just acts like a dog, and it's not funny. Like, he's not an endearing character.
The main character, Tada-kun, I could completely forget he existed. Like, if you asked... Like, I'm willing to bet that if you asked me, like, a year from now to remember this show, if not for the fact that his name was in the title, I literally would have forgotten he existed. Because he has no personality. I don't remember him particularly doing anything other than being there, just being the main character, insofar as he exists and things happen around him. The blonde girl, who's, like, the main girl, she's cute. I like the character designs.
She's very cute.
They do a good job with the clothes. I like how everybody's clothes kind of cling to their body, and, like, all the girls have nice tits.
Nice.
The club president guy is like the cliched club president character who's, like, overly passionate but, like, weirdo. So God, I've seen so many shows with a character really exactly like him. It's like I could just, like, confuse him with any other character who's similar.
One of the Mal reviews for the show, because we were looking to see if people had any kind of strong opinions on the show, was like, the show was like plastic flowers,
Yeah.
and from a distance it looks like anime.
Yeah.
But when you get close up, it's just generic factory garbage. And it's like, huh.
It's like there's seeds of stuff that could be used for good comedy. Like, okay, in episode 2, we're introduced to the photography club. The guy who's the leader of the club has all this merchandise for this girl named Hina, I think. And it's like his favorite gravure idol. Because his thing is, he's like, oh, you know, I'm into photography because I want to take pictures of naked girls. And it's transparently signaled that this glasses girl who's in their club, who's like the class rep who just joined because they needed enough people to keep the club open, I guess.
Even though the dog boy is also in the club.
Is he? I guess he is. Well, you need 5 people typically in these shows. I don't know if that's true in Japan, but in club shows you always need 5 people to keep the club open. So the class rep is in there, but like it's pretty obvious that she is Hina. And the joke, and it's a funny setup in and of itself, that he is obsessed with the gravure idol, but he is
unaware that she's right in front of him.
Yeah, and he doesn't like her.
Yeah.
Like, they have a contentious relationship, even though it's literally the girl he's completely obsessed with. Obvious setup for jokes, but in episode 2 at least, they didn't do anything with it. They just kind of left it there. It's like they hint that she is that girl, and then it's just kind of like, all right, I can see where that's going. That could be funny, but there were no jokes made at its expense, and the jokes that were made were not funny and were weird. There's just lots of scenes where this was my face, like I was just, and then occasionally I was like,
girl who Naruto runs.
There's a few moments where I said like, oh, or huh. And it was just like totally blank slate. I don't know if it's supposed to be funny, but if it's not, then what's the appeal? Because you've got just a bunch of generic comedy characters. Like, none of the characters have any dimensionality to them. They are all like, you know, the blonde girl is so like ditzy and just kind of ridiculous that like she only would make sense in a comedy series. She's kind of like the main character from the Kyuketsuki-san show. But that show had better jokes than this one. And we dropped that one. We dropped that one even sooner, but that was because it was, like, obviously not going to go anywhere. This one, we watched the first episode, and then we found out it was an original anime, and we were like, well, I'm kind of curious, because if it's an original and it's 13 episodes, maybe it's going to have a satisfying arc or an ending. You know, maybe it won't just end on go read the manga. But like going by
something unconventional because it's not a manga and doesn't have to follow, you know, what manga have to do.
Exactly.
But nope, it's just the most generic rom-com imaginable.
There's not even any rom yet. I mean, I assume there will be more of a romance element as it goes, but I can't imagine it going into any kind of like relationship drama or like any kind of, you know, the kind of stuff. I can't imagine it has any of the 6 things I want from anime romance, going by what we've seen so far and the reviews that we read, which basically all were like, yeah, this is completely generic and forgettable. And I was just like, well, and we had started up episode 2, and I think it was like several minutes before like my brain clicked back into remembering I was watching a show. Like, I was sitting there just kind of like, until the guy started ranting about nudes, and I was like, what? I'm awake. And then I was like, what's the glasses girl? And you were like, oh, she's like showing them around. And I'm like, oh, sorry, I totally zoned. Especially because it became a high school thing at that point. Because at least the first episode wasn't in a high school. It was like he met her in kind of a unique location because it was like, she's obviously like a tourist who was looking for Rainbow Shogun tourism stuff, and they went to this cafe, and it kind of felt like it wasn't just a high school anime. And then episode 2 is like, this is a photography club show.
That would make you think that it was going to be set in a high school, and that was kind of nice until you saw the episode preview, and you're like, oh, this is what this is.
I've just seen way too many club shows like that. You'd have to have either a really interesting club or just a really distinctive premise or just great jokes or something. I'm thinking
characters.
about. It's really funny. I'm thinking about like the show Ano Natsu de Mateiru, which I believe was also, it was a film club, not quite a photography club, but I think the leader of the club had like the same personality as this guy and wore glasses. And that was also true in the OVA Iria no Sora UFO no Natsu, which was also about a photography club, and the leader had the same personality. And I'm just like, they're all getting fused in my head, and like already I can't even remember which one's which. It's like it's just a whirlwind of club images that I've seen in my long life as an anime viewer.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. We dropped that after 2 episodes, so let's talk about another show. Oh boy, well, we watched the first episode of 3D Kanojo, and then you were like, I kind of want to watch episode 2.
Yeah, I kind of liked that the girl, had to stand up for her boyfriend, and she like is into nerdy guys, even though it's kind of not expected. But that doesn't really make the show good.
You gave up like 2 minutes into the second episode.
The show looks bad, and it sounds bad, and it just isn't fun. It isn't good.
My problem with this show, right off the bat, immediately, was that the conceit of the show is that the main guy is an otaku who is not interested in 3D girls. But this 3D girl who like represents everything that he hates about 3D girls, he falls in love with. Except the only problem is she's an anime character because it's an anime.
And not only that, she behaves like
an anime character. Just not the same type of anime character that he... Like, she's not a moe girl, I guess. I mean, she's cute. She's yeah.
Yeah, she just seems like a generic anime girl, like a generic shoujo heroine.
Right, it's just that it's a shoujo. Okay, I think this very much falls into the current trend of Japan trying to trying to get people to shack up, right? Mm-hmm. There's like this big meme that like Wotakoi and I Can't Understand What My Husband Is Saying, like all these shows, but this one takes a different approach from most. Most of those shows are like, hey nerdy guys, go get yourself a girlfriend. This show is like, hey normal girls, go date a nerdy guy.
I don't think she's normal. She said she didn't have any friends.
Well, she
like everybody talks shit about her at school. I wouldn't say she's normal. I'd say she's a girl who probably would like...
She's a problem
manga.
Child a bit.
Yeah, she is a problem child. She's an outcast, and
I don't know if she's like she has lots of boyfriends. She
has lots of boyfriends, but like
she seems like the kind of girl who has no friends because other girls are mad that she steals all the men.
It just seems like the world is out to get her. Like they go to a bookstore and
that shit was ridiculous.
Like the bookstore keeper grabs her and is like, "Oh, somebody said you were stealing." And it's like, does this just, everything bad just happen to her?
I think the implication, what they're trying to go for, is that, like, the main character guy, as an otaku, and I understand this mentality, and I think it's a cliche, but that, like, he thinks that the grass is greener on the other side sort of thing, not realizing that, like, girls who stand out, they might get lots of attention, but a lot of it is negative attention. Mm-hmm. And, like, he's someone who, like, just wants no attention paid to him at all, and any attention is negative, almost. But, like, in her case, it's like, she has to deal with a lot of drama because of the fact that she stands out and is strong-willed.
I mean, it's really kind of on the nose, because the guy even says, like, I just didn't want to talk to people. I was afraid of people. I didn't want to pursue relationships. And then everybody that you meet in the show is an asshole to him. Like, he runs into some old school people, and she just, like, out of nowhere, she just, like, starts making fun of him at, like, a fast food restaurant.
Yeah, it's, like, random people just got, like, these girls who are just like, oh, you used to be in our class, you were a real fuckboy. It looks like you still are a fuckboy. Haha, what a loser. It's like, wow, this would happen in real life.
It just seemed like they turned it up to, like, 11. Like, we understand the position these characters are in. If you're watching anime, you probably have been bullied.
The thing is that...
if you're watching this anime...
Okay, all of that... First of all, here's what's weird. Is that it's so cliche in its presentation of what, like, the otaku mindset is. Now, the manga it's based on, ran from, like, 2012 to 2016. Being as far back as 2012 is a little bit more forgivable. But, like, the way it presents otaku is like someone watched a bunch of otaku media and then tried to recreate that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't feel like it was based on any real person or real experience.
Like, the main character is obsessed with a magical girl, like, otaku-oriented show. Those shows do not
exist
air anymore. It's, like, bygone. So how is the show supposed to, like...
resonate with otaku today?
Yeah. Or girl, like...
Like, most...
Because
I would
the
think
show
that
is
most
for
of the...
girls, but, like,
Yeah.
there are no shows like this anymore, so if a girl's
I think it's like
this...
it's like an old school idea of what an otaku guy is into.
Yeah.
It's like this very... Not only is it a cliche, but it's like a 15-year-old cliche.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like the poo-doo-poo-doo-poo-doo-deen from Welcome to the NHK. You haven't seen Welcome to the NHK yet, but, like... From that show from 2006, and that was like a parody of what otaku were watching then. It's 2018, when the show came out.
It's a cliche and a cliche and a cliche.
Yeah, it's just like, this isn't a thing anymore. We don't get these super otaku-oriented magical girl shows. Now it's all like edgy magical girl shows that are meant to appeal to both genders because Madoka, showed the world that, like, everyone wants to watch dark magical girl shows.
The only magical girl shows that came out this year were Magical Girl Sight, Magical Girl Apocalypse, and Precure.
Yeah.
Like...
So, like, it just feels like the characters are all just spouting cliche ideas of what these people would be like, but then there's the fact that the girl, the things she does, like, if the conceit is that she's supposed to be a real 3D girl... then the fact that when she's accused of stealing, she not only dumps out her purse in the store, but throws off her shirt and starts to take off her skirt, it's like, alright, yeah, how many 3D girls do you think are gonna fucking do this?
It was completely
When have you
ridiculous.
ever seen a girl get accused of stealing and strip her fucking clothes off in a store? No. This is asinine. And so, yeah, I just can't buy into the conceit at all. It's like, this is not...
Yeah.
Not only is this... literally not a 3D girl, but she's not written to act like a real girl. She's written to act like an otaku's cliched idea, or someone who watched otaku media and said, here's what an otaku is based on that, and here's what they think a 3D girl is like, but let's prove that she's actually good.
It sounds like whoever wrote this manga probably was, like, basing these characters off of otaku stereotypes for when they were younger.
Very possible.
And it just, like... doesn't connect. It is really cliche.
And this is the manga's like 12 volumes long. This is an anime that's getting a second season starting in like tomorrow.
Yeah.
So like I'm sure that there is a lot of progress in their relationship. I'm sure that the show goes through different arcs and involves other characters and dramas and stuff.
Yeah, I
but
mean,
like,
it's a shoujo, so like
yeah.
they tend to focus more on after hooking up.
But I just feel like the baseline here is like I couldn't give less of a fuck about these characters. So
Drop.
Bail.
Let's get pizza.
Look, I just want to be able to watch anime and eat my pizzas. But fucking Devil's Line is so bad, I can only make it through like 4 minutes of the first episode. I mean, look, this is just a Tokyo Ghoul ripoff. It's obvious that Tokyo Ghoul's popular. They tried to capitalize on that success. The OP sounds like a ripoff Ling Toss My Segure. The main guy's got the stupid face. But, like, it lacks any of the design sense Tokyo Ghoul has.
Look at her face.
Look at it.
It's bad.
Look how fucking...
It's bad.
Look how fucking hideously goddamn ugly this shit is. It looks like dick. Oh, it's been a couple days since we watched Uchuu Senkan Tiramisu!
Has it been like a week?
I don't know if it's been a week. I think it was before the weekend, though. So maybe close to a week.
Yeah.
But I fucking loved this show. How did you feel about Uchuu Senkan Tiramisu?
It was really fucking funny, really creative. I love the pube. He was the best
the
character.
Talking pube.
There's lots of, it had some good fan service.
The pube voiced by the same voice as Nyanta.
Yes.
God, his name's slipping my mind right. Nakata Joji. Joji. His name is George. It's the Japanese name, George.
Good job, Jorge.
So, Uchuu Senkan Tiramisu.
Imagine if George Lopez voiced the dub.
Like most anime comedies, dramatically underrated.
It has a dub, I'm pretty sure.
I think it might. I don't
Everything
remember.
has a dub now. It's 2019.
This show, going by like images I had seen online, it looked like it was, while a comedy, also like a yaoi kind of thing, or at least a like pretty boy bait kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I guess there's an element of that.
Yeah, you definitely get to see like some ass shots.
But it's very much in the vein of Gintama, where like I think Gintama is a shonen manga that happened to develop like a huge Fujo audience because they were into the pretty boys. I think that this show knew it could do that from the start. They were like, "Hey, let's lean in on that." However, it never is played up really. It's like it just happens to be there.
I would say that one episode of The Bath.
Yeah, a little. Yeah, that one does play it up a little more.
It's like a special. It's not like really in season 1 or 2, but it's like this. One of the specials is
Right.
like they're in a bathhouse and all of the jokes are butt jokes.
Well, and like there's like the ships are really obvious, like which guys you're meant to draw porn of together, but the show itself never like suggests that about them. It just makes it obvious, you know.
Yeah.
But like again, it's the whole style of humor of it is very similar to Gintama. I know you haven't seen much of Gintama, but like
I've seen enough of Gintama to understand that it is funny as shit.
yeah, and do you see the similarities as well? Like it's that same brand of like the setting can be the joke, or it can just be whatever. And that's what makes it so great, is that it's not limited to like one type of joke. And I feel like a lot of comedy anime, they get old because they have like too much premise. It's like they get lost in trying to tell this specific type of joke over and over again, as opposed to, or they have no premise at all. Like, I think of a show like Daily Lives of High School Boys, where it's just like, I mean, it is what it says on the tin. Every skit is something completely different, and it's mega hit or miss, you know? Whereas this show, it's like, they can fall back on let's do space parody jokes, or they can just like involve some totally fucking random, inane, funny thing into the story, and it goes in really interesting places with the space parody stuff, and especially because it never feels the need to just make references outright. Like it's not. Even though it's like a mecha show, you know, it takes place on a spaceship. It's almost all set in space.
There's new types.
Yeah, there's a parody of New Types, which is the universal sense, but it's not like just Gundam. It's not just like, oh, we're making fun of New Types from Gundam. It's like the way this has been presented in any show that has it. Because tons of shows have ripped off Gundam, so there's no reason to make it like a direct Gundam homage. It could just be broadly like, this is a thing in mech shows, is the universal sense. And they do really hilarious shit with it, like have him develop a psychic connection with his own pubic hair and have a conversation with it and like form the first meaningful friendship of his life and shit. And just my favorite episode, the one that sticks in my mind the most, is an episode where he gets like lost in space in his mech, and the main character is like obsessed with being in his mech. He sees it as like a comforting womb that he never wants to leave because he's socially awkward and doesn't like dealing with people.
Everybody around him is dicks.
Yeah, everyone around him is an asshole. So like his mech is like lost floating in space, and he's like all he's got is like rice to eat. He's just got like this like huge supply of like quick like microwavable rice on him in his mech, and he comes to realize like the rice has no flavor, but he comes to realize that by putting it on his body, like it absorbs the salt from his skin, so he's like just eating rice off of his body, and he keeps like taking off more clothes and like trying to figure out if it'll taste different depending on where on his body the rice is. And it's just like, it's like 7, because each episode's only 7 minutes long, so it's like 7 minutes of a guy eating rice off of his own body in a mech floating in space, and it was funny as shit. It was like one of the most creative uses of that setting for comedy that I've ever seen. Or the one where he like puts up a Christmas tree inside of his mech. Just the level of obsession that the characters have with like the fact that he is so obsessed with his mech and being inside of it just is hilarious in and of itself.
Yeah.
And like his brother, who's just like a cheapskate asshole, who's like the leader of the enemy army, but like he's kind of a like weird, emotional, like hard to deal with guy who it's like you can totally imagine like having a friend like him in real life who it's like you're kind of friends, but at the same time you don't want to be around that guy too much, you know, because you're like, he's kind of a fucking pain in the ass, you know, like
Yeah.
I don't really want to hang out with him. I know I'm that guy to a lot of people, so I relate.
You're a big brother, that's why.
It's true. Who's your favorite character in Tiramisu?
I really like the pube. I like the older brother because I think he just like when he comes in, he just everything he brings to the show. He's like a really funny guy. He doesn't have the universe universe sense, so he kind of has a complex about it.
Yeah, because like everyone else on his team has it.
Even the background characters.
Yeah, the character, like, because you know his like right hand man is like this ugly fat dude who's obviously like not meant to. Like the whole joke is that he doesn't look like he should be a relevant character. But then there's also just remembering the scene where like the main character and his like clone are fighting in the city, and then like their universe senses are like projecting themselves out like to each other, and then like just some random like fry cook also's universe sets projecting, and he's just like making the shit out of these fries, and they're both like entranced by how hard of a worker he is. It's fucking great. I'll say that I liked the first season a little more than the second one because I thought that surprisingly the show has like a plot. It has like an ongoing story that matters, which is great because it leads to really interesting scenarios where sometimes there'll be like a 2-episode arc of like they meet his dad who like designed the mech, you know, and then like they're dealing with the dad for a few episodes, but then they move on, you know. It's like not everybody has to be like a permanent addition to the cast, but they can come back later and have little spots here and there. But like I thought the first season got more like outrageously creative, whereas the second season was more plot driven, and I was glad for it because it meant that it could stay fresh and interesting and not like get repetitive because they could do, you know,
could take it
different
new
things.
places.
Right, but at the same time, it just overall wasn't as memorable as like the sheer wildness of ideas that the first season had. I mean, I guess I could say it's there. Not all of it was equally funny. There were some episodes that weren't as funny, but they're all 7 minutes long, so it's really hard to.
I found the shorts in particular to not be as good as
the. You mean the specials?
Yeah.
Yeah, the specials were not as good.
They're all shorts, but
right.
The specials were not as strong.
Yeah, they were because the specials were like anecdotal to the main story. Kind of, it was like, oh, here's what was happening with this character during that episode, and just wasn't as strong. And some of it was just like cultural. Like, sometimes it's just like, this joke doesn't make sense because I'm not Japanese and I don't know why this is funny, you know, like, which is, you know, it's always kind of a roadblock with Japanese comedies. I always thought it was really weird with that show with the magical boys, the Chikyu Boebu Love.
Okay.
That one was from the director of Gintama, the original director, and, like, the whole first episode is about, like, this one unpopular ingredient in udon, and like it's central to all the jokes in the episode. And so like they tried to bring that show to the US and they like debuted the dub at like at Otakon with the director there and everything, and like it was like nobody understood at all because they're like, well, what? I don't fucking understand the joke here. Why would you bring that episode? You know, but I mean, it was episode 1, but like nobody's gonna fucking get it because we don't know what the hell the chikua and the udon is. So there's moments like that in Tiramisu, but most of it is broad enough that you can at least appreciate it. I thought it was absolutely hilarious. It's like my second favorite show of the year of 2018.
Yeah, it was definitely great. I would recommend it.
I just like I really feel like anime fans struggle with comedies because it's harder to justify liking a comedy in a way. It's like when you watch a dramatic show, you can talk about like it's very easy to talk about like character development and like why something resonates with you emotionally. It's easy to say like, oh, I relate to this, or like this spoke to me on some level. With comedy, it's like even if you really appreciate it,
you can't get as much talking about it,
right?
But like you can get just as much watching it. And
yeah, because
learning.
it's like, well, I thought it was funny, and it's like if you do break it down, you have to get very technical about it. It's like breaking down a great piece of animation. It's like unless you're going to literally go frame by frame and discuss how they did it, then it's hard to talk about. And not a lot of people are willing to do that because people are always afraid of explaining the joke or whatever. And like, you know, when people talk about comedies, it mostly comes down to, dude, remember that one scene where that happened? You know, that was just fucking hilarious. But like, I mean, there's tons of shit that is that funny in this show. So I highly recommend it. I loved it. It's like each season is like 2 hours of your time because they're only 7-minute episodes. So if that, I'm trying to do the math in my head, it's probably close to 2 hours. Hour 45. We burned through each season in a sitting.
And a half, because 10 episodes would be.
You could skip the OP
minutes.
and ED. But yeah, go watch it. It's great. If you have ever liked any anime comedy that I've recommended, like if you think Gintama is funny, if you think like Sakamoto is funny, this is
check it out.
Your type of show.
Do it. Raise that Mal score.
Next episode.